The Panagyurishte golden treasure was discovered on the 8th of December 1949 near the town of Panagyurishte, in the vicinity of a brick factory. In the early hours of this December morning, the three Deikov brothers had to shovel the soil to prepare it for the production of bricks for the next year. Digging at 2 meters and 20 centimeters, they suddenly came across a yellow metal object. At first, the brothers thought the finding was gypsy music, since the objects all resembled musical instruments. Luckily, Dr. Petar Grubanov was curator at the museum in Panagyurishte at the time, an archaeologist who had specialized at the Vienna University. As soon as he saw the objects, he was able to claim that they belonged to an unique Thracian treasure dated 4th or 3rd century BC. Its dating was identified mainly on the grounds of the style and the technological characteristics used in the making of the vessels, but also by the patterns of their decoration. The treasure consists of 9 vessels, amounting to a total of 6 kilograms and 134 grams. They are all made of pure solid gold of 23.7 carats. With the exception of the flat phiale, the other vessels have one thing in common. At the bottom of each there is a small opening to serve for draining, which classifies them all as rhytons. The rhyton is a ritual vessel from which the wine can flow out, and it is used in rites. The largest of the objects is the amphora, a rhyton of 1.5 kilograms. Instead of one, there are 2 openings in its bottom, the 2 flowing into opposite directions. The openings are in fact holes in the mouths of 2 heads of Ethiopians, which was the generic name at the time for the inhabitants of Africa. The amphora cannot stand on its own due to its oval bottom. In general, the Greek amphora are made to either stand on a flat stem, or, in the case of the sharp-bottomed ones, to be propped up by the bottom of the vessel. The amphora-rhyton is elaborately decorated with reliefs. The entire corpus of the vessel depicts a scene of 7 male figures standing on either side of an exquisitely ornamented gate. The door is slightly open, and through it the head of an elderly man is sticking out. The most interesting part is the figure of the young man standing in the center, who is the only one wearing high boots called Andromedas, typical for images of the ancient Thracians. He has barely a stubble of a beard and is looking at an elder man with a beard who is holding the liver of a sacrificial animal and trying to predict the future by it. To the side of the younger man, a warrior with a trumpet can be seen, summoning his brethren to attack. The army is surging towards the gate with the semi-open door, swords drawn as they attack. Thus, the Panagyurishte treasure is not just valuable for the mere quantity of the metal of a very high purity, but also with the exquisite form and decoration of the vessels. In the periphery of the only flat utensil in the Panagyurishte treasure, the phiale, several letters can be identified, engraved with some very sharp instrument. They signify the way of the phiale, which measure corresponds to the measures of the gold-coined mint in the city of Lampsac. Professor Ivan Venediktov's scientific view is therefore credible that the phiale was produced in that very city. The production of the Panagyurishte treasure involved some very highly skilled techniques in tereutics. The source material was cast in several stages, and then the actual molding would begin, shaping first the foundations of the vessels to near completion. Then the relief decoration was added, and that was done using a bronze matrix. Such matrix were already known in those days and have been found on a number of occasions in different parts of ancient Thrace. The greatest amount of them can be found in the stock of the Museum of History in the town of Wraca. Along with that, there are some archaeological sites in Bulgaria where molds for making bronze objects have been found. This was the case with one of the commercial settlements, a place known as Emporium Pestirius, which was located between what are now the towns of Vetren and Septemvri in the region of Pazarjik. In the stone-cobbled streets leading from the wall of Pestirius to the town center, a golden scroll was found which had the same purity of the metal as that of the Panagyurishte golden treasure. That gives grounds for assumption that the Panagyurishte golden treasure was not made in the town of Lampsac, but somewhere in the very heart of Thrace. The reasonable question that arises here is, who was this Thracian ruler who could have afforded this treasure? Bearing in mind the time of its production, approximately the end of the 4th and beginning of the 3rd century before Christ, Professor Venedictov's view that it belonged to one of the most influential rulers in the region, Thracian king Seutis, is quite credible.